Good evening, folks. I'm always amazed how, you know, we all may think it's been decades since fifth grade, but how we fill up the classroom has not changed. And what we tell our students when they're 18 is pretty much the same thing we'll tell folks. So the folks who are coming in late, your prize is to take the seat up front. Esteemed faculty members, honored guests, distinguished scholars, it is my sincere pleasure to welcome you to tonight's professorship sharing ceremony. I'm Andrew Medvedev. It's the honor of a lifetime to stand before you as the Dean of the Weatherhead School of Management. Tonight's a very special event for many reasons, but one of them is that not only are we honoring three superb scholars, we're also full of gratitude for our community that has made this celebration possible and your support. And it just so happens that the three organizations and individuals that have supported these scholars are all either are or are related to the core members of the Cleveland corporate community. And for me, it is such a personally important moment because this is the business school of the future in a sense that we are the folks that engage with the corporate community. We are the partners along the way, and we are so honored by your support, your partnership, and together we will make sure that Cleveland is on the map of the cities that'll change this country in the 2020s and 2030s. So I am thrilled to see our corporate partners and friends and supporters here. But tonight, we're going to honor three incredible individuals. As Dean, you get to do a lot of very special things, but probably the most special is getting a chance to have conversations with the likes of Tony, G, and Puyan. And if you think that you have smart friends and colleagues, wait till you spend time with my colleagues. Tony Buccaro, the E. Mandel DeWint Professor of Leadership and Enterprise Development. Puyan Kazemian, the John R. Mannix and Medical Mutual of Ohio Professor of Healthcare Management. And Ji Ning, the Lewis Progressive Professor of Management. So these individuals have demonstrated phenomenal dedication to research, teaching, and service. And their contributions enrich us as a school, as a community, and as colleagues every day. Now, I'm really happy that the folks in the room from our corporate partners are here, and I'd like to acknowledge the supporters of the chairs, both in the corporate community and individually. Mike DeWint from the DeWint family. Mike, thank you for being here. Christine Taylor from Medical Mutual. Christine. And John Kresick, Sandra Orland, Mary Groth, Karen Sipples, and Ray Mack. Yeah, sorry. No? Thank you all for being here. Oh, there's Ray. Okay. Without further ado, let's begin the official ceremony. And for that, I invite the official master of ceremonies for tonight, the man who's probably the best attired faculty member in the room, Greg Jonas, to introduce our first nominee, Tony Buccaro, who is the, again, E. Mandel DeWint Professor of Leadership and Enterprise Development. This professorship was established back in 1986 in honor of Del DeWint, who rose from clerk to become the chairman and CEO of Eaton Corporation here in Cleveland, Ohio, and spent, 45 years with the company? 46. Greg, if you would come up.
So it's my honor to be able to introduce Tony Buccaro. I've known Tony for 10 years, although it seems like just yesterday most of the time. Tony joined the school back in 2015 after a very successful career in public accounting, rising to the rank of partner with what was then Deloitte and Touche, now just kind of known as Deloitte. So a very successful career exemplifying leadership principles. And since joining the school, has not only he been an excellent scholar with many publications in top-tier journals, but also has served as chair of the Department of Accountancy, has served as chair of Faculty Council, our executive committee, has also served as editor of a top-tier journal in accounting, and various other many roles, too numerous to mention because we do have a time limit tonight. And also at the same time has contributed to nonprofit organizations, donating his time and skills to a number of nonprofits, all while maintaining an excellent teaching and research record. So I brought this with me because just in case I should miss up on the wording. I did look back to the endowment, which suggests that, you know, the purpose of the endowment is to attract eminent leader in devoted to professional life in understanding and developing the skills and the personal attributes exemplified by Mr. DeWint. And I think looking at Tony's background and his potential in the future, very much he checks all the boxes in terms of leadership and service orientation. So I'm very happy to introduce Tony Buccaro.
Wow. All right, I'm going to cheat too, because I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Well, I'll start by saying to receive a professorship in leadership from a school of management whose claim to fame is to have developed some of the most enduring leadership skills and methods. I mean, it's daunting. It really is daunting. And then to learn that the Emandel DeWint Professorship, I'm going to repeat what Greg just said, is supposed to go to an eminent leader who has devoted his or her professional life to understanding and developing the skills and personal attributes exemplified by Mr. DeWint. I mean, wow. Anyone that knows anything about Mr. DeWint knows that's a really tall order. That's a lot. I never knew him, obviously. So I did some research, which we do. That's what we do. And we could do some basic research and find that, yeah, he was the CEO of Eaton. That's a big deal. Yeah, he started as a clerk and worked his way up. That's a really big deal, right? That shows a lot of leadership. And we know he's very influential in that organization. But this is going to sound really cliche, but I'm going to say it anyway. Mr. DeWint was not a leader because he was a CEO. Right? I'm almost positive he was a CEO because he was a leader. Right? That has to come first. And we can find a lot of examples of things that Mr. DeWint did in his role as a CEO that show his leadership. But the examples that really stand out, the things that people write about, are the things that Mr. DeWint did in his community. Right? So we learned about the fact that he brought together 50 CEOs of some of the biggest corporations in the city, right? And those CEOs in a very tough time in the city, right? The 70s and 80s, apparently it was even worse than I realized. But it was bad, right? I wasn't here. It wasn't my fault. But they made a lot of changes. They made a lot of progress. They helped this city, right? And he was a big part of that, very involved in the United Way. So Mr. DeWint became a leader and led by looking outside of his immediate environment, right? Yeah, he was responsible for Eaton, but he took responsibility for his community, and that's leadership, at least in my view. So I'm not going to claim to be a leader. That's not my job. It's not my role. It's not my right to call myself a leader. And I don't even endeavor for people to call me a leader. So what I do endeavor for is to do as much good as I can for my community. And that means my community of students and fellow faculty and staff at Weatherhead. It means the greater business community, the community in which I live and work. That's what I want to do. And I'm very grateful to the DeWint Professorship for giving me opportunities to do those things. I'm very grateful to the DeWint family for sending a representative, for being here, for making Weatherhead a part of the DeWint legacy. So thank you for that. And to the leaders of the school, I just want to say thank you for making me a small part of that legacy as well. Thank you very much.
Tony, would you mind coming up with for a quick photo? Sure. Where would you like? Perfect. Grade would be good. Thanks so much. Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite my colleague, Dr. Yu, up to the stage to introduce Puyan Kazemian, the John R. Mannix and Medical Mutual Professor of Healthcare Management. That professorship was established back in 1991 to really honor excellence in the field of research devoted to the healthcare sector. Dr. Yu?
So, good evening. I have this pleasure to introduce one of my favorite colleagues at Weatherhead, Puyan Kazemian, to celebrate his conferment of the John R. Mannix Medical Mutual of Ohio Professorship in Healthcare Management. So I met Puyan few years ago, and he has this such a quiet and quiet demeanor with humility that when you just talk to him in a meeting, you don't even notice that he's there. And although he has such a big physical presence, he always just smiles. Until you ask him to say something, he wouldn't say anything, and then you just ask him like, "So what do you think?" And then he opens his mouth, and then he starts talking about what he did and what he's working on. I was like, oh my God, how come I never heard of him? And so Puyan, obviously came from University of Michigan, where he got his PhD. Then he spent time at Harvard Medical School, which is interesting. He studied industrial management engineering, what we would call operations research, and then he also worked with MGH, one of the premier hospital system. When you look at his record, he published 38 articles, I counted, and at top management journals like Management Science, PALM, and these are really, really difficult journals to publish at. But not only that, he also had, I wrote it down here, healthcare journals like JAMA, Internal Medicine, Annals of Internal Medicine, and Lancet Global Health. Now, when you actually know anything about these journals, their impact factors are like 20 and above. Our top journals in management is like 5 or 6. And I know many physician colleagues and physician scholars, and these are the top premier journals in medicine field that even medical scholars are dying to publish. So when you think about the title of the chair, healthcare management, Puyan is now working at the intersection of healthcare management and AI. And some of his work is how to use AI to actually improve the diagnosis and therapeutic interventions. Some of the work he does is how to manage the healthcare process itself, workflows and scheduling. Really tough problems, but are necessary. And then he also solves other problems of measuring the impact of interventions and doing a whole, holistic assessment of the impact of some of the interventions. So I cannot think of anyone who is more qualified to be the leader of our school, to lead in this intersection of healthcare and AI and technology and management in general, who is more qualified than Puyan. So this chair not only is a recognition of his past accomplishment, but this is our endorsement and down payment for all the hard work that he will be doing over the next 5, 10, 15 years. I think he's pretty young still, so 30 years of his career that he will devote to advance not only the reputation of the school, but also the quality of the care and all the the healthcare service that we provide by using the technology in the right way. So Puyan, congratulations.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm incredible. It is an incredible honor to stand before you today to accept the John R. Mannix Medical Mutual of Ohio Professorship in Healthcare Management. I'm deeply humbled and profoundly grateful for this recognition. First, I would like to express my gratitude to the generous donors, Medical Mutual of Ohio, and the leadership of the Weatherhead School of Management for giving me this incredible honor. To my esteemed colleagues, mentors, and friends, thank you so much for your support, inspiration, and collaboration. And to my family, whose unconditional support, encouragement, and belief in me have made this moment possible. This moment belongs to you as much as it does to me. As I step into this role, I've been reflecting on the journey that brought me here, and I would like to share a personal story with you that shaped not just my career, but also my purpose. When I first started my graduate studies in the United States, I was fascinated by operations management as a discipline, its ability to optimize processes, improve efficiency, and solve complex problems. But I had not fully realized the profound potential that operations management could have in healthcare until I experienced hospitals and the emergency room as a patient myself. Enduring long wait times, facing poor continuity of care, and encountering fragmented healthcare processes was an eye-opening experience for me. It was an epiphany that fundamentally changed the way I viewed the potential of operations management. I realized that the tools and methods that we develop aren't just abstract models. They can directly impact people's lives by improving access to care, enhancing quality of care, and making healthcare systems more efficient and effective. That experience sparked my interest in healthcare management research and inspired me to focus my work on tackling some of the most pressing challenges in healthcare, not just as an academic endeavor, but as a personal mission. Today, my research spans three interconnected areas of healthcare management. Those are healthcare operations management, medical decision-making, and public health policy. In healthcare operations management, my goal is to improve access to care and reduce wait times and enhance the efficiency of healthcare systems by addressing the operational aspects of healthcare delivery. My research in medical decision-making focuses on personalized healthcare. Healthcare isn't one size fits all, yet many of our current policies and practices treat it as such. My work aims to develop personalized disease monitoring and treatment strategies tailored to individual patient needs. Basically, we want to avoid over-treating or under-treating our patients, and we want to avoid over-monitoring or under-monitoring them. The goal is simple: to provide the right care to the right patient at the right time. Finally, my health policy research seeks to improve how we can best leverage our limited healthcare resources to improve the health and well-being of the entire population. Whether through AI-driven decision-making, predictive modeling for disease management, or optimizing the healthcare processes, I see this professorship as an opportunity to advance knowledge that directly impacts lives, to explore new frontiers in healthcare management research, and to mentor the next generation of healthcare leaders, whether they work in hospitals, insurance, academia, or government. In closing, thank you all once again for this extraordinary honor. I'm dedicated to carrying forward the purpose of this professorship and to having an enduring impact on healthcare and society through cutting-edge research and innovative teaching that prepares professionals for the marketplace of the future. Thank you all.
Come on up. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite my colleague and the chair of the Department of Operations Management, Kamlesh Mathur, to come up to the stage and introduce our third honoree this evening, Ji Ning. Ji is the Lewis Progressive Professor in Management. Now, this professorship was established back in 1981 in honor of the Lewis family and progressive corporations and all of the contributions that they've made to Cleveland's corporate community and management practice. Kamlesh?
Hi, everybody. As Matt said, I'm Kamlesh Mathur. I'm chair of Operations Department. It's my pleasure to introduce our next chair, Jia Ning. As Andrew mentioned, that this chair was established by Progressive Insurance and Peter B. Lewis. And it was established to quote, to recognize and reward outstanding, highly creative, non-tenured faculty who has demonstrated excellence in teaching and research. And I think these words describe Jia. And I think I'm done. But again, just to briefly talk about Jia's academic journey, it seems we have a pipeline from University of Michigan here. Yeah, yeah, there, and Puyan. So just like Puyan, Jia got her PhD from University of Michigan in the same department. I don't know whether it was the same year or not. But, yeah. So I think Jia is started as a physics major, kind of, okay, which seems unusual, but not that unusual in our discipline. We get people from all different disciplines. So she got her BS in physics from China, then got her master's in physics, still at University of Michigan, and then she shifted to the Department of the Operations Engineering, Industrial and Operations Engineering at Michigan. She joined us in 2013, and in some sense, as a chair, she and I think she is somewhere here were our two first hire, and we in the department still pat ourselves for those decisions. Kind of, okay. She came here in 2013. Promoted to associate professor about 2020, yeah? And to briefly talk about her research, she's described her research as an interface of operations and finance, kind of, yeah? And I'm sure she will talk more about that. She studies the financial tools and financial constraints, how they can be used in making supply chain decisions, okay? She has published extensively, all in very good journals, yeah, what we consider our top or A journals, kind of. I won't talk much about her research in more details. To give you some flavor of what she has done, her very first paper was in production capacity management using internal financing, co-authored with Matt Sobel, who has been a big mentor for Jia. And her recent paper was the use of trade credits in supply chain decisions, kind of, okay? And that's kind of noteworthy that is one of her two sole authored paper, which for junior faculty is very unusual, kind of, yeah? School has always saw potential in Jia, and that she has been recognized many times by the school. She was awarded the Weatherhead Emerging Impact Award in 2021. She twice received school's Faculty Scholar Award. And also besides research, kind of, again, this chair is for research and teaching, kind of. So beside her research, she is a very effective teacher. She has been nominated for Best Teaching Award a couple of times, okay? She has been developing more timely kind of classes. During the pandemic, where the supply chain was highly affected by pandemic reason. She designed a course in risk management for supply chain, which is now a required class in our programs, So, and besides the school, I mean, even at this stage, she's very well known in our discipline. She has received Meritorious Service Award by our top journals. This year, she has been asked to co-chair one of the national conference. So that's for a junior faculty is very unusual. So I think, our school, we have a lot of very good untenured junior faculty. Many of them will be recipient of this chair in future. But at this point, I can't think of anybody else who's more deserving than Gia. That with Gia.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. It's my great honor to be recognized with my two outstanding colleagues this evening for the Lewis Progressive Professor in Management. So I started in school at 2013, as Kamlesh just mentioned, and this has been a long journey. So I will share a short story about how it all began. So Kamlesh just said that I started from a very different discipline, very remote from what I'm doing now, which is physics. So I did my undergraduate with a physics major, and when I went to University of Michigan to get a PhD, it was a PhD in physics. So how did I end up here? So this was the first summer at the end of my first year at University of Michigan. At that time, I was already working in labs, joined a research group, and my project was working on organic light-emitting devices, or OLED. So if you have recently shopped for HD TV, you'd notice the OLED, so that was what I was working on more than 10 years ago. And as I worked in the lab, I increasingly felt that this is not something that I wanted to do for life. So I started exploring, but without any direction. And then after lunch one day, I remember very clearly, I just took a casual stroll in the campus. And I saw this very nice building right next to the building that hosts my lab. So I went up the stairs and I explored. That building hosts the Department of Industrial and Operations Engineering, so the IOE. So I read the descriptions on the wall, and I felt hooked. I was increasingly excited, and I still remember how I felt that day, till today. So that day changed my life. I guess I can say that I was very lucky to be able to find my calling just from a casual walk after a lunch. I was also very lucky to be able to come here after I graduate to join the department and join the school. I am deeply indebted for all the help, support, and encouragement from my senior colleagues in the department, from all the leadership in the school, and I want to say thank you to all of you. I also want to say thank you to my husband, who's not here, because he needs to take care of the two wonderful boys that I have at home. So I want to say thank you for him as well. Without his support, I won't be able to stand here tonight. I also would like to say thank you to all my collaborators, co-authors, mentors who have guided me over the years. And finally, I'd like to say thank you to the donors from Progressive. I just talked with them. They're working on fascinating, state-of-the-art, innovative things, and I hope that we can continue our conversations starting this evening or after the ceremony. Thank you. You always make the right decisions. So with that, one more thing, I'd like to thank my parents who have supported me from day one of my life. And without their support, I won't be able to stand here. So tonight, I guess I will continue my journey with this chair from Progressive. Thank you.
Thank you, G.
Thank you.
Just don't do too much campus exploring. Let's
Yeah.
stay. Come on up, Team Progressive.
We'll put the big guys on the end, right?
Oh, come on.
All right.
Everybody kind of turn to the middle and squeeze a little. Thanks.
All right.
Now, this is the part that y'all been waiting for. Now, when you get an endowed chair, it turns out, it actually comes with a chair. Unlike many metaphorical things in higher ed, this is a real thing. The best part of the experience is that when you get the chair, you get to sit in a chair and christen such chair with yourself. So I'd like to invite the 3 chair holders to come up for a formal picture in the chair. And don't worry, you're safe. This is not a wedding. No one will be picking you up. Distinguished faculty, as you assume your role as chairs, you accept the responsibility for guiding our academic departments and your disciplines towards excellence. May your leadership inspire future generations of scholars and future chair holders. Thank you. Can we get actually a quick photo? I'd like the 3 folks who are introducing the endowed shareholders to come up for a picture with me, and we'll conclude on a proper note. Zoom the seat.
Oh.
I'll slide it over. Terrific. Thank you for joining us. I sincerely appreciate you all being here to support our colleagues and the pursuit of excellence in research and knowledge that goes on in the school. Feel free to stay, enjoy the company and fellowship. Thank you for being part of the family and part of Team Weatherhead.